I grew up right down the road from a medium-sized park with a good-sized playground, walking trails, and beautiful lookout spots. It was a popular hangout for everyone, from single moms with their kids to families, teenagers, and even the elderly in the community. There were benches in many different scenic areas, picnic tables, grills, and even a horseshoe game area which also had a volleyball net. My group of friends consisted of mostly girls, but none of us were girly girls. We spent most of our time outdoors, exploring, climbing trees, playing sports, biking, you name it. So we spent a lot of time at the park, especially in middle school and our first couple of years of high school. It was mostly a safe place to be, so was our town. It was a medium-sized town with somewhere around 70,000 people. However, back when I was still in elementary school, there was a body found in the park, near the horseshoe volleyball area. It shook the community because that type of violent crime didn't happen here often. It took a few weeks for people to feel safe enough to go to the park, but once they caught the person who did it, people resumed cautiously. Almost immediately, rumors started circulating of people experiencing unexplained things, like hearing screams when no one else was around, finding random objects that weren't there before, seeing apparitions, and much more. A few years later, when my friends and I started hanging out at the park, we had our first experience with the paranormal. Since then, we have had many, but the first night has always stuck out and is a memory we will often still talk about. We were in 8th grade, so we had a curfew of 9 p.m. on weekends. And this particular weekend, we decided to sneak out after curfew and hang out at the park. I know, it was dumb. We were going to go play volleyball and talk about boys, not doing anything sinister. We were good kids, we just bent the rules sometimes. Just a few short minutes after we started playing volleyball, I noticed one of the trees moving almost rhythmically. Did anyone else notice that one tree moving back and forth? But it's the only one moving, I said out loud. Jess, you noticed the most random things. Yeah, so what if the tree's moving? It's probably just the wind or something. But there is no wind, not even a breeze. Just saying, I said. Jess, focus, we don't have all night, my best friend Kat said. A short while later, there was the loudest, blood-curdling scream any of us had ever heard. It was a female screaming for sure, and whatever was happening to her, it couldn't be good. We decided to go look around cautiously and see if we could hear or see anything. Remember, we were just kids. Now looking back, I would have just called the cops, because you never know what you could have been walking into. Luckily, we couldn't see anything, and we didn't hear anything further while searching either. Back at the volleyball net, I noticed something white that stood out against the pitch black and the dark grass. Walking over, I realized it was a woman's sneaker. It looked beat up. It was definitely dirty. Hey, that wasn't there before when we went searching, Corey said. I didn't think so either, but who just wanders through a park and drops a dirty shoe? I said. It must have been there all along, I added. Wait, where's my camera? Corey exclaimed. You left it here while we were walking around? I asked. Well, yeah, I wasn't exactly thinking about it at the time, she said. We searched the immediate area, but we came to the conclusion it was probably long gone, figuring someone probably walked by and saw a perfect opportunity. We went back to playing volleyball after coming to the conclusion we weren't ever going to see Corey's camera again. I was about to spike the ball when Tanya yelled out, Corey, your camera, pointing to the volleyball net, where it was tied by the wrist strap to the very top left of the net. At first we all busted out laughing because it was a pretty clever prank. But then we realized that meant someone was in fact in this space in the few minutes we had wandered around. Maybe we should just go for tonight, said Tanya. I second that, I said. Turning to leave, we all froze. There, only a few feet in front of us, was a woman, standing, looking really disheveled, clothes dirty, missing a shoe. "Do you need help?" I asked. But she didn't answer. She just stood there for a few more seconds. Then she turned, started to run, yelled, "Don't hurt me," and literally disappeared. We couldn't believe what we had just witnessed. She just disappeared, you guys. You guys saw that too, right? Corey asked. Yeah, I stammered. And all at the same time, we started running. We didn't stop until we were at least 2 blocks away. Later that night, none of us could sleep. We spent the night texting about our experience. We knew what we had witnessed. It was the spirit of the woman who had died in the park many years before. In the news, they said someone heard her screams from the distance that included, "Don't hurt me," "No, please," and then just one shrill, blood-curdling scream before silence. Another chilling one. I've only ever experienced an apparition twice, and both times I almost passed out. As with some of the spirits in previous stories, she must have been stuck reliving that horrible day. I hope someone comes along and helps her cross over. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. If you have a paranormal story to share, email it to the address in the description below. Don't forget to like the video. It helps send us out into the algorithm, I think. I'm just a transplant from TikTok, so I'm learning what YouTube wants. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow, friends.